and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have a little bit of a late night Arnold Holiday News, the only news you'll ever need because you have no other choice. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Kind of a busy day if you missed it. Earlier on, we had the brand new IG-12 and Grogu kit reveal, which I'm excited to test out later on this week on Thursday. Hope to see you guys there. But kind of like as we anticipated, we have the brand new speeder bike pursuit raid coming this week. We assumed it's going to be soon because of that big post that happened last week. And now it's coming tomorrow, which of course we will be doing extensive testing, trying to figure this out. I mean, it's going to be an interesting one because, again, the long story short of it all is, well, we're using granted abilities on characters that we didn't farm them for, so it's going to be a new experience. My initial reaction, in case you missed, was like I wasn't as excited about the speeder bike pursuit over the Krayt Dragon raid, but who knows? Maybe I'll absolutely love it. We'll have to wait and see. It kind of feels like it might be a rock, paper, scissors type of thing like they did with Rey and Kylo. But people were a bit concerned that I was about to lose my garbanzo beans. This is kind of last second notice to tell us that there's a raid coming tomorrow, especially when the important currency, the Mark III raid currency, is tied to the Krayt Dragon hunt. And as you know, basically with this new speeder bike pursuit, well, the Krayt Dragon raid will basically become obsolete. You want to try to push for the Mark III currency to get your Relic 8s, to get the Relic 9s into your roster. And people are worried, well, does that mean if I currently have a Krayt Dragon raid right now and it doesn't end until after the update that adds the speeder bike pursuit, will you be screwed and you'll miss out on all the Mark III rewards? Well, the good thing is we did get a response from Meathead. He was quick to get a response for us, so I will put your mind at ease. I mean, they're telling us this, so even if it's bugged, that we should hopefully get it back. So here's the popular FAQ. If I'm running a Krayt Dragon hunt right now and our payout period is after the update, so let's say the speeder bike pursuit happens at 2 p.m., but your raid doesn't end until like 7 p.m. or several days after maybe because you launched one today, will I still be able to get the Mark III rewards? Yes. If you're currently running a KDH, the Krayt Dragon hunt, and your payout isn't until after the update tomorrow, you will still get your Mark III rewards in your rewards, and any raid that starts after tomorrow's update will have the adjusted reward. So I wouldn't fret if you launched one today or your raid's going to go a little over the update. My expectations, this update maybe will land probably around 4 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. Luckily, yes, I think I said my guild's my guild raid probably will end right before it. So hopefully we'll be able to do this Mark III, the speeder bike pursuit, the second it drops, assuming we have enough tickets for it. But again, just to remind you one more time, we're not going to go through all the details. If you want, you can watch the video where we break down the entire post on this new speeder bike pursuit. But the Krayt Dragon hunt, it's going to be set for good, basically. I mean, you can still play it if you think the speeder bike, your guild doesn't have enough, Jedi Knight Lukes or Imperial Troopers or Ewoks to potentially do. You can still do the Krayt Dragon hunt, but just keep in mind, you will lose the Mark IIIs. And you will get a little bit more Mark 1 and Mark 2 currency, which again, helpful to get, your Treyas, your General Kenobis, more Gear 12 stuff into your inventory. And here's what the rewards will look like in the speeder bike raid. Remember, it's only going to happen once a week. Once a week, you'll get 10,000 Mark 3s and then 12,500 Mark 2s, 16,950 Mark 1s. So that's kind of where we're sitting at right now with that. So people are freaking out. Don't worry. We'll find out more about this raid tomorrow. I'm hoping for the best. I don't want to root for this thing to suck because we're going to be stuck with it for a long time. Hopefully it's going to be fun. I'm trying to maintain some optimism on this, We'll have to wait and see. It's a little bit different. Different's not bad, but sometimes different can suck. But hey, we'll live and learn. So we have, in case you want to hang out this part, I know everyone's favorite part about the game is data crunch. Everyone loves having massive inadequacies, massive inequality with their rosters and heavy RNG just because you can't get 5,000% defense. Am I projecting too much right now? I don't know. We have a new Datacron set 12. I feel like I barely was able to kind of catch it with the previous set, and now we're getting to a new one. That's just that's a me problem, I guess. I don't know, but Datacron set 12 is coming, bringing back a lot of familiar stuff I think we've seen before with Dr. Aphra, some Tusken stuff. We're also seeing, for example, some really interesting really interesting things that are probably going to affect Jabba, but I'm happy to see that at least Dr. Aphra, she'll be a bit more usable because I feel like Datacron's really screwed Dr. Aphra. Like, I think all that high defense and whatnot. I mean, don't get me wrong, when there's armor penetration, she's good. But like before Datacron, she could beat Rays, she could beat Jabba's, a couple other things. But then we throw the Datacrons on, it's like all those crazy defenses and whatnot just throws it up. Again, one of my many opinions on Datacrons, they need to get rid of the stats completely. I feel like people are more focused on the stats than the actual abilities. And then how the hell do you know what a 5,000% resistance armor penetration means? I don't know. They got to get rid of it, but will they? No, they won't get rid of it. Anyways, I just want to quickly highlight the key things here. I know Datacrons aren't the most popular topic out there, and only maybe like 100 people really go hard on Datacrons, I feel like. But I digress. Let me show you what we got. So the bang per buck budget thing that we're seeing for the level 3s, most folks should maybe at least get one level 3. And it seems like the banger one's going to be light side, dark side. Whenever you get 2 buffs at the start of your turn that can be dispelled, you'll get 5% offense, which is stacking until the end of the encounter. You know, you can kind of figure out what that'd be great for. Supreme Current always has buffs being fed on this team. We also have other things. Ray's always got a ton of buffs on our teams, although she's very well taken care of with the crazy defense stuff that we got going on. The rest of the level 3s aren't really special, but as you know, 90% of the stats or 90% of the abilities are kind of like useless, and the one you want, they make it hard to get. Oh gosh, anyways. Tuskens, Jawas, HUD Cartel, Scoundrels. Again, just gonna kind of highlight the big ones that I'm noticing. I feel like maybe had this before with previous Tusken sets. Whenever a Tusken ally critically hits an enemy, you're gonna feed him just a little bit of turn meter to trigger the momentum, which in turn helps get the Tuskens more stuns and damage over times on the other side. Whenever an enemy takes damage from damage over time, which should be frequent, Tusken allies gain 10% protection again, 5% counter chance, which is stacking. And if a Tusken ally is active in the leader slot, at the start of each turn, all enemies are inflicted with damage over time. And they can't recover health when they have damage over time. Oof. Sounds pretty nasty. Tuskens are kind of a cheeky little faction. A lot of teams rely on that high turn meter, and they shut that down. When the Tuskens had their Datacron last time, it was actually a way super scary team. Jawas, you know, I don't know how important this is going to be, but you know, maybe it'll be something. You're going to get 100% bonus protection. All enemies are inflicted provoked, which is basically kind of forces a counterattack, basically, which can't be evaded or resisted. When you're provoking, you can make them hit your Jawas, therefore getting more thermal detonators on. And then whenever an enemy takes damage from a thermal detonator expiring, Jawa allies recover 5% health and protection, gain 5% turn meter, and there's an 80% chance that enemy is inflicted with a thermal detonator for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, prevented, or resisted. Hard to say how important this is going to be. You know, maybe it'll be something funny. Jawas beyond like Ewoks, Mon Mothma, and Geonosians, not really doing a ton, but who knows? Maybe they'll be just so durable, they'll just get like 5,000 thermal detonators. HUD Cartel, they're going to be eating good. A lot of big stuff on the menu for them. Again, really the only big thing right here is whenever enemies are damaged at the start of their turn, which is always going to happen with thermal detonators, basically, all the AoEs, allies will get 2% turn meter. So again, feeding Jabba and his team a lot more turn meter. Again, the other stuff is cool, but people are going to most likely strive for that top one up there. Scoundrels, I believe we had something similar to this. The first time each Scoundrel ally used the basic ability on their turn, reset their cooldowns and gain 100% turn meter. Limit once per character per battle. I remember when Dash Rendar had this, it was kind of scary. But this is going to be great for Dr. Rafa, for example. Her being able to get her 100% turn meter, do another special ability. This is going to be kind of a big deal. So again, I believe we had something in a similar vein. I just can't remember if it was a bonus turn or 100% turn meter. The rest of the stuff, again, it's all right, but people are going to be striving for that. The rest is just to make you waste your currency, waste your sanity, and hoping you get what you want. Let's look at the character abilities. I kind of just want to hop over to the one I think people are probably going to be excited about, Dr. Aphra. Again, as I said, I love Dr. F as a character, but I feel like being such a high damage glass cannon team, I feel like it's kind of hard for her to really strive as much. Not saying she's bad, but like I really feel like Datacrons have negatively impacted her, aside the fact when she actually gets a specific Datacron like this, like she had last year. At the end of any droid ally's turn, Dr. F takes a bonus turn and recovers 5% health and protection. So we're going to be seeing, for example, the B2 Super Battle Droid trick was amazing with Aphra. So maybe Aphra will come back and be able to beat, you know, HUD Cartel, Jabba again. Because before Datacron, she could beat HUD Cartel. With the Datacrons, what the heck are you supposed to do when they got like 5 bajillion defense on them? We'll take a look at some of the other things here. Again, a lot of this is very similar. I know for certain we had this Tusken Warrior thing which basically prevented revives. This is extremely scary. She could revive all Tusken allies when she defeats an enemy. Tusken Chieftain, anytime he uses a basic, he'll call someone else in for the assist, but most folks are probably going to chase after that Tusken Warrior one. That was the scary one last time. You know, they got other things here, like, for example, the Tusken Raider. Each Tusken ally at the start of the encounter, Tusken Raider gets an additional 25% offense. Whenever Tusken Raider uses Tusken Ambush to spell all buffs on the enemy, which is nice, deal 20% more damage per buff dispelled, and whenever a Tusken ally assists during the Tusken Raider's turn, they recover 100% protection. Again, though, the Tusken Raider one, Tusken Warrior one, seems to be the one that's a little bit more frightening. When we look at the Jawas, it's looking like potentially the Scavenger is going to be the one that's a bit more threatening if you are trying to push for some high damage Jawas. Jawa Scavenger always critically hits if able. The first time Jawa Scavenger is defeated, while there are any active allies, they revive with 100% health and gain stealth for 3 turns. Again, Jawas are nothing without the Scavenger. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with thermal detonators, Jawa allies gain 10% defense stacking, and as we know, stacking defense is wow, it's almost like I wish we had 30-minute timers in battles with all this defense stuff going on. So maybe again, this will lend to it getting more thermal detonators on the other team, and there's a 50% chance to inflict an additional thermal detonator. Taking a look at the HUD cartel, probably a lot of folks are going to be gravitating towards the Battlejuice one. The max cooldown of Inventive is reduced by 1. So yeah, a lot more thermal detonators being thrown your way. Whenever Battlejuice inflicts thermal detonators on an enemy, inflict an additional thermal detonator for 2 turns, and HUD cartel allies gain 10% armor penetration, yikes, and 10% Terminator on top of already the HUD cartel Terminator that we've already laid out for you. That's again probably the one people are going to be striving for here. And then we got some Scoundrel stuff kind of wrapping us up here at the very end. Although, fun note, you know, Mob Enforcer could maybe inflict fear. You know, let the wait and see. Sometimes, you know, we'll see like funny things show up, like Night Sister Initiate. Remember that Datacron? She was able to like take on Galactic Legends. Oh man, I wasn't able to even capitalize on that. We have L337 where she can basically deal additional damage onto enemies based off her max health. Okay. Cara Dune, whenever she removes Terminator from an enemy, she deals damage to them equal to 25% of their max health. That could be great with the Sana Staros team. Veteran Smuggler Han Solo, whenever critically hits an enemy, Han gains 10% critical damage penetration, or defense penetration, and offense stacking. Hard to say how good that's going to be. And then IG-11 getting a little bit of love. Whenever IG-11 uses an ability, they deal more damage, max 100% equal to half their potency. So again, you know, there's good stuff here if you are in the Datacron department. Probably not as like crazy as some other stuff we've seen, but nonetheless, I'm all fine and dandy with more tame Datacrons. I'm happy that when we look at the stats, you know, it's mostly damage oriented. So the good thing is no defense, no evasion. Defense is literally just evasion disguise. Yeah, you're doing damage, but it doesn't help when you're only doing like 100 damage when you got 300 million health to work through. So, you know, overall, not anything super annoying like Drogon, reduced damage, all that stuff. Mostly just high damage output that we're going to be seeing out here. Nonetheless, I look forward to hanging out with you guys in the speeder bike pursuit. Hopefully my guild will be able to launch this brand new raid that's coming later on tomorrow. And again, fingers crossed. I don't like to root for the failure of an event. You know, I know they put time into it and effort. It's just, you know, on the surface, it's hard to get as excited for that when I got to do rock, paper, scissors on a speeder bike with an Ewok twerking on, and then some cursed image of C-3PO riding a speeder bike. I'm going to keep an open mind. Hopefully it's going to be absolutely fun, but you know what? We always make things fun around here. Leave that like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And until we meet again, always remember how it's great to be in the Empire today.
It's great to be